The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to our continued WrestleMania weekend coverage here with WrestleMania 39 Night 2 from the SoFi Stadium, or SoFi, whatever, in Inglewood, California. Thanks, bro. In front of 81,395 fans, which now combined for the 2 days is 161,892.
Yeah, as Lemmy would have said back in the day, it's a lot of fucking people.
And my first note after that was good luck AEW lol. They're so far ahead. It's going to be very difficult to catch up.
That's mean, Carl. That's
Shut
mean.
up. You enjoyed that comment.
No, I
Shut
don't.
up.
Tony Khan's, he's my friend, man. He's my friend.
Tony can't. Okay, so the show starts with The Miz and Snoop doing the usual thing to open the show with the useless hosting role.
I skipped it, so.
So yeah, here we go, bro. We're starting off hot with one of my most anticipated matches on WrestleMania weekend. Omos taking on the Beast, Brock Lesnar. And guess what? I'm going first this time because I always let you go first.
Go ahead.
So yeah, the match I was most looking forward to. First note though, why does it have to be Cole and Graves? Can't Wade Barrett do night 2? Or can't Wade do the SmackDown matches and Graves do the Raw matches? It's just whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Strowman can beat Omos, then surely Lesnar can, right? I felt like the fans were invested in this. You know, a lot of people complaining about this ahead of time. You know, Brian Alvarez types. But like, why wouldn't you want to see these two behemoths clash? I liked that they were taking their time at the beginning, building the heat, building it slow. Omos, outclassing Lesnar early. But once Omos made a mistake, there was, some real problems for him with those German suplexes, which were quite impressive, of course. A lot of teasing. The story of Lesnar's back being worked on with the bear hug, excellent stuff. But then Brock hit an F5 and he won. And one thing that annoyed me was when he was going for the pin, they cut to this wide shot, and I'm like, just stop fucking with the cameras. I just want to see the shot of him getting pinned close up, not from a fucking distance. I was surprised that Omos lost like that because everyone else that's formidable seems to kick out of the F5 at least once. And I feel concerned for Omos now because when, it gets down to it, gets down to the real, business end of things, it seems like this character, this big man can't get the job done with Lashley, with Strowman, and now with Lesnar. So I feel concerned. I mean, I don't know if he should have won, but yeah. What did you think, bro?
Well, it's interesting. So first of all, I think when this match first got announced, it was kind of a meme. People were sort of giving it the Morbius treatment in that you saw a lot of memes kind of hyping up the fact that it was this big man showdown in an ironic way from fans that thought that it was stupid. But the problem with that was there's a whole contingent of fans that actually do think it's a badass match and do find it to be an attraction in the traditional sense. And I believe that whole negative backlash only ended up increasing anticipation in the match because this was two big bulls going at it. I love the simple psychology of Omos working on Brock Lesnar's back. Once again, I said the last time he had a match, like it's so refreshing to see him actually selling and being a bit more of an underdog. I love the fact that they got a replay out of a forearm to the back, because it was delivered properly and it was sold properly. I share a little bit of your concern about Omos because I think it was a mistake for him to lose to Bobby Lashley back when he did.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I also don't think that he should have necessarily won this match, but I don't think that he should have kicked out of the F5 either, because I think he's so big that if the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So
Yeah,
he shouldn't be expected to have that kind of resilience, because his whole game plan is based on trying to stay on his feet. But the thing was, Brock Lesnar, the previous match that he had against Bobby Lashley, he hook or crooked his way out of that one by low blowing and blatantly getting himself disqualified, and he only just barely pulled out the win in this match here. So I feel like there's a bit more of a larger story possibly forming. But you know what? I don't care what the haters have to say. I thought Omos did good here. I said night one set a good pace with Cena versus Austin Theory having a basic but classic match. This was again opener for night two, setting the pace again, traditional big man attraction style match. I gave it a C+. I thought that it hit the right notes for me, didn't outstay its welcome.
Cool, bro. Coming up next, the women's tag team showcase match. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan taking on Shotzi. Gotta love Shotzi. And Natalya. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, and Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. 4 teams. Jooseyboy, take it away.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, dude. I mean, like, this match was another one of those showcase matches, and we said yesterday when talking about the Mayo edition that we didn't mind the fact that this was just tossed onto the card, because it's being presented as a showcase opportunity, and that's what you would do. You'd throw them on the big stage. So I feel the same way about this match, but I have to say this. The quality of the work in this match illustrates how far above most independent talent and most AEW female talent that the women's division in WWE is. All of these ladies looked great. They worked extremely hard. You could see every single person involved in the match, even the ladies that didn't get involved in the big spots, with the exception of Ronda Rousey, who didn't seem interested to be there at all. But with the exception of her, everyone seemed like they were eager. Like, big shout outs to Natalya. I always feel like she works so hard and holds these things together. Big shout out to Raquel and Liv. I thought that team combination really worked for me. There's a good energy about it. And everyone else involved in the match, I don't want to forget about them either, because, you know, it took all these people to tango. Instead of becoming an incomprehensible cluster F the way that it could have, it ended up being an entertaining little romp in the same spirit as the Mayo edition the previous night. I really enjoyed it. I gave this a C+ as well. So far, from my opinion, we've started it off, and we haven't had a really strong match yet, but we've had 2 better than good matches to start things off, which I didn't have very high expectations for. So setting the pace really well off in the early going as well.
Cool, bro. I'm guessing they needed to shave a little bit of time, because I thought it was weird for them to play people's theme songs when the tag team that's already coming out, they're still halfway down the entrance ramp.
Dude, the ramp's just so long though, man. The ramp is just so long.
I know, but fuck.
You know.
I think Ronda's stock has really gone down. I don't think WWE need her anymore. I don't think there's any buzz about her being on the shows anymore. That's just how I feel. Like, I think I don't think that she's necessary anymore. She's had her title reigns. She's lost some matches.
She openly says that she openly says that she doesn't appreciate the criticism that she gets from the fans when she screws things up in matches, and she doesn't appreciate the creative that she's been given, and like, she's quite vocal about that stuff on her own personal social media, and that's her prerogative and stuff like that. And you don't have to love the business to be good at it, but it really it is, unfortunately, I regret to say at this point, it comes across, it bleeds through the screen that she doesn't want to be there and stuff like that. It's not exciting to watch her because she's not excited to be there.
Yeah, good point. the ladies really tried here, but it was clear to me that the crowd didn't care for it. I guess there's maybe just not enough hate on this. You know, I mean, I just wanted to see Shotzi and Chelsea Green mostly. I thought it was pretty cool for Chelsea after such a great year that she had last year that she's now on a WrestleMania card. So it's cool. I like Shotzi's dive. I think Chelsea Green did a good job in once again getting herself over as being so super obnoxious.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed the spot of Liv Morgan getting powerbombed to the outside by Raquel. But yeah, the crowd was just so quiet. It's just really noticeable to me.
Yeah.
I think MVP of the match was Shotzi for a lot of the cool shit she did. Liv Morgan hits the Oblivion. And during that, Shayna Baszler got the blind tag. And then Ronda came in, locked in the armbar, and they won. And Ronda didn't do anything in the match, not one thing. And she just came in for the armbar at the end. Like, that was really eye-opening. So, I don't know.
I got a feeling she might have been cut out of the match because, you know, of some comments that she's made here and there.
Oh, I wouldn't have given her team the win then if they were hot at her over it.
Well,
but
I don't know. Maybe it's not that they're hot at her, but I don't know. Something seems like it's not working with Ronda Rousey. That's all we can say.
Yeah. Well, they might be hot at her, but I am hot for Liv Morgan. Coming up next, bro. This really annoyed me. Bobby Lashley came out and showed off his trophy, and then that was it.
Why can't you have, like, answer me this question. Answer me this question while we're on this, right? So, okay, all right. At least they didn't completely ignore the existence of Bobby Lashley altogether. On night one, they had a little photo package that showed that, you know, he'd won the Andre Battle Royal on the previous SmackDown. And now here on night two, they've at least brought him out to the stage to kind of show off the trophy. And it's not ideal. It's not what you would have wanted at all. But at least they didn't completely blow it off the way that it would have been in the previous regime. They actually acknowledged, like, hey, this guy's just won the Andre Battle Royal. It is still important, even though it's on SmackDown. His match with Bray Wyatt fell through because of unforeseen shit out of his control, but he's still a big name, and we can't wait to see where he goes. At least they didn't completely blow it off altogether, but, like, why in the fuck can't you have, you know, an impromptu match that's better than what we'll get to be talking about later on? Why can't you have Bobby show up and be like, man, I want to fucking fight here, and have somebody come out, have Bron Breakker come out, anyway, it can just be like an exhibition thing where he goes, I'm challenging anyone for a WrestleMania challenge right here and right now. You know, why can't they do it? Why can't Drew Gulak accept that challenge so that he can say that he's had a match on Mania and Bobby has somebody to beat? You know?
I mean, if it were me, and this is just if it were me. But yeah, I have him come out. I have him be in a bad mood. I'd have him, you know, take his shirt off. You know, maybe he's still like in his street gear. He's just been backstage. He just realized how pissed off he is about the situation. Get in the ring and just be like calling anyone out. And then like maybe, I don't know, in the crowd just happens to be somebody who knew that, because Lashley's been saying on social media that he's been trying to challenge people for matches at Mania. It'd be cool if like someone who wasn't on the roster might have been out there hoping for this situation to arise, and maybe that person could have been Chris Masters. Might have been cool to see Master Lock versus Hurt Lock out of the blue at WrestleMania.
I mean, you just said it right there. Forget about a fucking match. Why couldn't Bobby come out and say, look, I got screwed out of a match here. I won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We're doing a WrestleMania Hurt Lock challenge right here, right now. $50,000 to anyone who can break the Hurt Lock, whatever you want to say. Bobby's looking jacked. He takes off his Armani suit. He's looking shredded and shit like that. Boom, out of the crowd comes Chris Masters or Bron Breakker or fucking fucknose, whoever you want. Brian Cage, whoever. So yeah, it was bullshit what they did. It was almost in a way, even though I just said moments ago that I like that they didn't ignore it totally, which I stand by. It almost like draws attention to it even more that he got screwed out of a proper opportunity.
It's like here's some crumbs, mate. Here you go.
Here you go. And instead of like getting to get this massive payday for having a match in front of this amazing crowd, how about you lug this heavy trophy on?
It was fucking massive. So annoying. All right, let's move forward, bro. WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line. Gunther, the champion, defending against Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Man, I was laughing. I don't know why, but I was laughing so much at Ludwig Kaiser's announcing of Gunther.
I pumped for it as well.
And the way him and Vinci turned to look at the entrance
when they went
like
in sync,
so like staunch as well, the way that they looked at the same time.
And then if you notice, right, when Gunther started coming out, when the camera cut back from it had like a close up on Gunther as he came onto the ramp, and when it cut back out to a wide shot, like they're still standing there like this, doing the exact same pose, like statues.
What kind of human beings are they? I give props again to Gunther's theme song. I think that's a really, really cool song. And you know what? Gunther is such a better name than Walter.
You know what, man? It actually is working for me now.
Yeah, Walter. Really, I know he was known as that for a long time, but Walter, it doesn't really sound as like.
Walter kind of sounds a little bit derisive of Killer Kowalski, and because he has that kind of style, and like I don't know.
Walter sounds like a bricklayer's name.
Gunther has the word gun in it, so it subliminally sort of sounds a bit. All right, let's move on.
Let's move forward, bro. This needs to be an all-time classic, and I thought it was. Titus O'Neil was killing me, man.
Oh, he was amazing, man.
He kept on cutting off Corey Graves, and Corey was getting hot about it because essentially Titus was taking his job from him, and it was fantastic. And when the chops started happening, and Titus starts saying, "Call the police! Call the police!" over some knife-edge chops. He's taking it that seriously. I love it.
Yeah, he's never not been good on commentary, man.
Gunther's chops are fucked. I'd hate to take one of them. And I love the chop battle. It's the first time I've probably ever liked one of them because him and Drew were hitting each other so hard. And that all three of them in separate sections of the match, there was at least one stage where they were just beating the shit out of each other. Whether it's, Sheamus clubbing Drew nearly 30 times until Drew just dropped. It was really cool. Great selling from everyone. And I'm really glad the IC title is finally being taken seriously after, years of not really being given a whole lot. Cool to see the Celtic Cross coming back from Sheamus. Drew, huge dive, all this. There's just so many great things happened in the match. Titus is screaming from the dive, man.
That popped me. I love how he does it and Titus is going like, oh, and then Cole goes, you've never done that, Titus. And then he goes, and I never will, baby. Woo! Like he's happy that he'll never do it.
I love that the Brogue interrupted the Claymore. Such drama, tremendous. Then there was a Claymore, 2 count, crowd loving it. Gunther had been gone for a little while. He came off the top rope, interrupted a pin, powerbomb on McIntyre with Sheamus, then a powerbomb on McIntyre. Gunther gets the pin, retains. Sick match, bro. Thoughts?
Honestly, man, there's not much to say. This very nearly stole the show for me. I'm giving it an A-. It was an incredible match. One of the best Intercontinental title matches, it's certainly in a long time. And this is now a new contender for one of the better triple threat matches that we've seen. The last time a triple threat match approached this level of quality was probably Royal Rumble 2015, Lesnar versus Rollins versus Cena. Now we have a new contender, but in a different kind of way. This style of smash mouth brawling, as you know, is my preferred style of wrestling. It's what I enjoy to watch the most. And This fucking didn't disappoint. It was amazing.
Yeah, fucking didn't, bro. So what I was going to say something then. Okay, yeah, you know what? Gunther getting a pinfall on Drew McIntyre, that elevates him so much now because now he's just pinned another former world champion who wasn't long ago that Drew was the guy. So that I think it's really cool. And I see Gunther kind of getting elevated as we move towards WrestleMania 40. Let's move forward. Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair, the champion, defending against Asuka Jooseyboy. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so there was so much to compete with on this show, but this match managed to keep my attention. You know already that I'm a big fan of both these ladies. I gave this match a B+, the classic B+, plus a Jooseyboy recommendation. Go out of your way to check this out because my description won't do it justice. Sit out powerbomb on the outside, fucking crazy. The physicality in this match, next level. I mean, Asuka is just such a, obviously a beautiful woman without anything else. But then you add the incredible performance that she brings not only in the ring, but to the character as well. She's the complete package as far as a talent. And I see why WWE has been so smitten with her even since, still in the Vince McMahon era, because she's just great seemingly at whatever they ask her to do, and she's adapted so well to the American product. But she can still turn it up when it comes to the in-ring stuff as well, and that's what she did here. And Bianca Belair is just like, to me, not necessarily stylistically, but she is almost the female Brock Lesnar or the female Kurt Angle. She is a prodigy, somebody that wasn't a fan of this before she was signed and became a wrestler and everything like that. And she has said in interviews that she's, since fallen in love and everything. Like, she's a prodigy at it. That's it. That's all there is to say about it. She's incredible, and I thought that this did a very good job of trying to follow up the very high standard all-time classic that was had between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley on night one. They didn't quite get there, but nothing was ever going to. And, hats off to them. This match was a lot of fun.
Cool, bro. Bianca's entrance had a bunch of kids dancing. And I was like, who the fuck wants to see kids dance? I realized I'm such an asshole because then they mentioned like it was a part of like a really cool program that they were involved in. And I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. I really thought Bianca was time to lose the belt. I've been saying it for ages now. I'm a bit bored with the babyface character, bro. If Roman was to be retaining, I really think that this long title reign should have ended on this show. I was really, really hoping that the Great Muta would show up and help Asuka get the win with a mist. And when Asuka missed her mist, I thought, oh, maybe he will come out, because now she doesn't have anything left in the tank. Maybe he will come out and help her. Just something that'll be something that'll blow her mind, being such a fan of his. But that's okay. He was to be coming out for the Hall of Fame later anyway. So, bro, so many, like, this is the second time in the show. I think it happened twice in this match. They kept changing the fucking camera angle when shit's happening.
Yeah, they kept on trying to cut out to that big shot of the huge crowd, and it's like, stop trying to do that thing where you cut to the big shot of the full arena and go, you are looking at over 7. Just fuck up.
We get it.
Fuck up. You've got all this time. You have what amounts to like 95 minutes of airtime that won't involve any of the matches. Just use some of that time to do your little self fucking flatulating shit.
Yeah, dickhead. Kevin. Ugh. Hate Kevin. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't really have anything much else to say. I did like Asuka using the braid of Bianca to bait her into a code breaker. But yeah, the KOD, she retains again. I'm just like, who's gonna beat her? Like, maybe Raquel Rodriguez or someone.
I think they planted the seeds for a heel turn in this match with her. I feel like they're showing signs of that.
Right. So let's move forward, bro.
Yeah.
Miz and Snoop are out. Doing their thing. And
they
then,
repeat
of course,
the same angle from the previous night, basically.
Yes,
Miz...
but I look, I found it funny that the Miz is in the ring and he's arguing with Snoop Dogg. Like, how unprofessional to be having an argument with him at this point.
Brings it up.
And then
Didn't
Snoop
bring
wants
it up
to
backstage.
Yeah, no, it has to be in front of everyone. He's complaining that it was in a $10,000 suit. And Snoop's just starting to nudge him into being in another match again. And Miz is just like, no, I'm not doing it. No, stop it. I just want to talk about this right here, right now. I just thought it was funny. And then then Shane's theme hits, and Miz is just like, is there anything I can do to get out of this shit? Why am I so stuck in this fucking thing? Like,
at that point, I was laughing, man. At that point, I was laughing because now I was like, all right, now what happened last night is starting to be less shit because he's being made to do it a second time. Now it's like against his will again.
It made up for it, didn't it? It really made up for it because I really wasn't happy with the Pat McAfee thing. But man, what the fuck? The start of this thing, Shane starts, beating the fuck out of him, does a leapfrog.
Let's take a second though. Let's take a second before we get to the injury though. Like, some people probably were going to groan when they saw Shane McMahon was going to come back or came back or whatever. I thought it was the perfect usage of Shane because it was for one of these fun segments and stuff. I don't know what kind of match they were going to have, whether he was going to do a couple of spots or whatever, but fuck people that are hating on Shane. And I also just want to say, before you describe the injury here, because it'll take a minute to break this part of it down, like, to everyone out there that's making fun of Shane McMahon, like fucking his knee up in this moment in front of
tore his quad.
Tearing his quad. Like, all right, make your memes about it and shit, but it's really not that fucking funny. It's actually, kind of like upsetting a little bit because you're getting into this moment and stuff. Like, imagine how that feels to be him, and it's just like a fart in church.
Yeah,
he gets taken away to have to. I don't find it funny to be taking pleasure in the fact that he tore his quad just because he's Vince McMahon's son, and people like to shit on the McMahons. So I just wanted to say that. Sorry, go ahead. I won't be cutting
That's all right.
for a while.
It's just I feel bad for him, like, fuck, he finally makes his big grand return. Nobody thought we would ever be back. And then that's what happens. But like, I now, like, honestly, I have all the respect, and he already did have it, but I have so much respect for Snoop Dogg, dude. The dude saw what happened, and then he's like, oh, is he hurt? And immediately he's like, all right, I'll fix it. I'll fix the situation. And he just calls an audible and does something on the fly and is spontaneous with it. Gets in the ring. What a punch, dude. Like two of them. Snoop's fucking punches are fantastic. Lays Miz out, dude. What did you think at this point in time before we get to the next part?
Well, yeah, as we said, I was a little disappointed that obviously Shane got injured, but I popped for the fact that they called the audible and that Snoop Dogg did the cute people's elbow.
I just thought
like the whole concept, like I was popping at the whole thing that Snoop Dogg is this icon of pop culture. Obviously he first came to prominence as a rapper, but let's face it, he's more of a general pop culture icon beyond being a rapper at this point. And just throughout the years, there's almost like a fucking 2-decade history now of him being in and out of WWE and AEW, and there's just something so amusing about it. Like, The Miz once main evented WrestleMania against John Cena for the WWE title, and he's being forced by Snoop Dogg to compete in these matches. Like, it is fun.
And then it ends up ending with Snoop beating him.
Yeah,
that makes it even better, even though it wasn't planned ahead of time. But like honestly, like, because I was thinking, like, geez, did they just do this whole thing with Shane and pretend he got injured just to get to this Snoop thing? But like, it's just so fucking cool that the guy was like, all right. And then I guess in the back, they're like, they got to figure out how to end this thing. He's just laid him out. someone's clearly got into Jessica Carr's ear. You can see her like touching her earpiece. And someone's probably been like, they've been like, what did she do? And someone's probably been like, he should hit a people's elbow. And then they throw the word to her. You can hear her tell it in people's elbow. And, you know, if anyone out there is going to give that shit, fuck you. Like they're trying to figure something out on the spot to save this fucking segment. And they did. Like, this is how you pivot when you're in the face of this kind of adversity, unlike when you have situations where you have an exploding time bomb death match in AEW, and then that's what ends up happening. The people's elbow was the cutest people's elbow I've ever seen in my life. The way he bounced off the ropes. It's my favorite picture now of WrestleMania history, the Snoop in midair doing that elbow, bro. It was amazing. Like, I was in tears, bro.
I did pop for it. I think that this, if you look at this Miz Snoop Dogg segment as part 2 of a 2-part running bit, I think that it becomes amazing in the hindsight of it. Best wishes to Shane. Hope he recovers quickly enough. And yeah, it was good effort on their part to call the audible. But I'm glad that it didn't go on for too long either.
Me too. And I just think, like, what would the gorilla position look like? You know, that little bit backstage where all the producers and such are. Like, I just wonder the reaction to them when they're seeing Snoop bounce off the ropes the way that he is, the way that you'd expect somebody that hasn't practiced it before. They must have been just like in tears of laughter over how entertaining that looked.
Yeah, that's a classic moment. They'll use that for sure in the future. That'll be in documentaries and stuff like that.
So sick, bro. All right, coming up next, dude. Hell in a Cell. Edge against Finn Balor. What did you think of this one, bro?
Well, dude, honestly, I'm giving this an A. I am rating it very highly. I feel like when this first began, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I love the fact that they've gone back to a more traditional color with the Hell in a Cell. They haven't made it glossy silver either, though. It's been kind of painted with like a primer, and it looks really gritty and down and dirty. Before anyone complains about it, I don't give a shit that they've taped blue and red tape around the kendo sticks, because plenty of real kendo people do that to kendo sticks in real life. And it doesn't matter that the chairs were colored instead of being black like usual, because chairs have been different colors in wrestling over the years. Get over it. So that didn't bother me. I know some people might nitpick about that. It really started picking up for me basically when Edge did the missile drop kick to Finn Balor while he was caught up in the corner of the cell. I don't want to go through all the spots, but I think that this was not only the best match that Finn Balor and Edge have had against one another, I also think that this was a match that Finn Balor needed, even in a loss. It was a match that he needed. It was a performance that, in my mind, shows that he is capable of being involved in prominent, positions. He would make a great challenger for the guy in the company. You know what I mean? Like, the Demon will always make a great challenger for the guy if he's going to have matches like this. I thought that this was a masterclass of storytelling. I thought that the inadvertent busted open head of Finn Balor from the ladder just was one of those serendipitous things that adds to the richness of the story. I actually thought that, it's annoying that the doctors are coming and checking on him, but I really thought Edge did a great job of like being pissed off about that and being like, all right, you're going to check on him? I'll take advantage of all this time when he's not active and just start setting up all these weapons.
Yeah,
that is good. Exactly what you have to do. Don't just stand around scratching your head wondering you're live, We're
live, pal.
That's a professional. That is a show business professional right there. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. I thought it was a great match. It wasn't an all-time classic Hell in a Cell. It's probably not even going to go down as being one of Edge's greatest matches since he's come back. I still think a few of the very earliest ones that he have this one beat, but very good nonetheless, worthy of a WrestleMania spot, worthy of being called a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, cool, bro. I was really, because there was rumors. I was really hoping for the Brood reunion. I even read that Tony Khan said that if the Brood reunion was going ahead, he would like let Christian appear on the show. So I was looking for that, waiting for that. It did not happen. But it would have been cool to see like the Brood. Maybe you get Dominic and Damian Priest out there trying to get in the cell, and maybe that's where it happens. I don't know, to even the odds, but that's okay. It didn't matter really. I did like Edge's mask he was wearing when he came out. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought he looked badass, man. I thought both of them looked great.
So yeah, I imagine Edge probably has one more year left. He's probably gonna. I'd say call it a day at Mania 40, which could be a pretty big transition for the company.
It does look like he's slowing down a little bit. When he first came back, he's still doing great. I'm not saying in terms of he's losing a step, but it looks like he's kind of. It definitely looks like we're closer to the end of this magical Cinderella return than we are to the beginning. Like it's drawing to a close.
Yeah. So anyway, Edge going through that table was awesome in the corner, but the camera angle was shit. Just gonna keep bringing that kind of stuff up when it happens because it really annoys me.
You've got to be. They've got to be on top of it.
Yeah. No, but this was the change of flavor we needed on the show. Balor off the side of the cell was pretty wild. And good near fall for the spear, but Edge wins, and the demon never does, but that's okay. I think Edge needed a win here. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, they have the Hall of Fame people, inductees, coming out, which is nice, of course. Dude, Stacy Keibler. Dude. What'd you think, bro? Come on.
I fast forwarded through that.
You didn't stop to look at how incredible she looks.
I've seen photos. She looks identical.
Why would you fast forward when Stacy Keibler's on the screen?
Because I had a limited amount of time.
You didn't
before going back to work.
No.
Watch this. She shut up. All right.
It was like 10 seconds. 10 seconds. You would have got out of that. And then we could have discussed how hot she is. Like she's had several kids and she looks incredible. Hasn't aged a day since she left. Unbelievable. I mean, seriously, bro, that dress. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was surprised. Oh shit, the main event. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because we had like 55 minutes remaining in the broadcast at that point. WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns defending against Cody Rhodes. Do you want to go first, bro?
I don't mind either way. I don't actually have tons to say.
Go on, then.
Honestly, no matter what you think of the result, this match was amazing. Like, I think that this was Cody Rhodes' finest performance yet. It was everything that I think people were hoping that it would be besides the result, but the actual match and the presentation itself, I think, was amazing. I think Roman Reigns continues to be like a performer that is just on a different fucking stratosphere. Like, it's not just a gimmick. He's really tapped into whatever it is in that Anoa'i gene pool that allowed him to kind of excel at this form of entertainment, and we saw that on full display here as expected. It's another in a long line of Roman Reigns classics going way back now since he's been on this epic title reign. Match itself, amazing. I'm going to give this whole thing an A+. I actually do not mind Roman winning the match because by doing this, yes, you have people that are going to be like, oh, well, fuck, you didn't win and all that shit. But you've also now set the precedent that even when everything 100% looks like this is what the company is doing, it still may not be. And they didn't have Roman win in some kind of a swerve. They didn't have a Money in the Bank cash in. They didn't have someone run in out of nowhere. They didn't have an authority figure intervene in things. They literally just went against people's expectations and had the heel win cleanly. Like, or not cleanly, but they had the heel win legitimately instead of having the big moment for the babyface. And I don't really mind it personally.
Bro, I'll get to it. I'll get to it when I get to it. So I got quite a few notes here because I was really digging the psychology. But first I have to say the ring. I don't know the name of the ring announcer lady, but she put everything into those announcements. Like I was actually laughing over how passionate she was and how much energy in her body she was putting into saying.
I see people on social media praising her all the time for just the fact that she fucking goes for it every single time. I think she's just like a professional singer by trade. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just I was impressed. I was just like, fuck. Like after that, like she must have been like a little bit puffed out because, you know, so much energy went into it. But look, the beginning, I love the beginning of the match here. Cody was overwhelming Reigns early, outclassing him. Reigns with the facial expressions of underestimating him. Gets to the outside. Paul Heyman's sound advice.
Yeah.
You know, he just happens to be the guy here. It could have been anyone. He's just going to be the one that's going to be losing here today.
Yeah.
You know, building that confidence back up in Roman. Cody makes two mistakes because he starts getting a little bit overzealous because he's now getting a bit confident in his abilities here because he is outclassing him, and it cost him the advantage. Then there's a little tit for tat with him and Roman. Then Cody starts getting back on top. And because of that, now it gets to the next level for Roman where he's starting to struggle with him. So now Solo Sikoa becomes a factor in the match. That's the point of having, you know, that, you know.
Sorry, my tablets.
That's all right, bro. Old man. You know, that's the whole point of having like that kind of bodyguard kind of guy at ringside, that hired muscle. So now he's been implemented in the story. Roman, you know, he's starting to get fucking, you know, pissed off. He wants to destroy him. He wants to get this done. So he starts ripping off the shit off the tables. He's getting ready, you know. Then there's a big swing of momentum. Reigns, it's a mistake in the end. He got overzealous again, trying to think that this was going to be a way to you know, get the match over and done with. He gets backdropped through the table. Huge spot. Then there's a great near fall from the Cody cutter. And again, okay, shit, now they're getting desperate again. You know, Solo Sikoa at this point has been involved twice. But the third time he got involved, he did something stupid. He used the leather belt, and the referee heard the belt smack Cody in the back. Now Solo Sikoa gets thrown out. I'd really like to go back. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I know I'm cutting in. You could just see that Dan Engler was like so excited to be ejecting someone. Like as soon as the ref turned and looked back at Solo, the crowd started cheering. Like there was a run because they knew that he was about to get thrown out. Like they were waiting for it. Like, sorry, go ahead.
The referee's cum shot moment, as I always call it. I'd like to look back at the footage and see if there was a moment when Solo was leaving, if Paul maybe like said to him, "Hey, blah 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 blah," which would then instigate that, you know, Solo would now go backstage and run all the way around the arena to come back out later on. You know, maybe you know, I'd like to see if that was something that took place, which would make me even more impressed. So because of all this, Reigns he gets the belt. So now he's a little bit distracted now because he's got this belt in his hand and he's just trying to think of anything he can now because he's distracted by the fact Solo's out of the match. So it was too much of a distraction for him because then he eats a super kick and then cops across Rhodes, but bro, 2 count. 2 count, and we're only like so early on in the drama and the suspense as we're building towards the finish. The crowd were losing their shit. Roman, a dick hair away from losing after the pedigree, kicking out for the very near fall. This is the suspense we require, bro. Cody's getting a bit confident. He's going for that disaster kick, nailed with the Superman punch. I love it when there's a trademark move that fits being interrupted by another trademark move. I think that's cool. Like when Sting would go for a Stinger splash on Goldberg, but Goldberg would spear him in midair, like stuff like that. I think that's really cool. So then Cody cops the spear. He kicks out. Now we've got 1-for-1 for kicking out of the finishers. He's locked in the guillotine on Cody. Cody's fighting with everything that he's got, and he managed to slip his head out of there. And then when he just started pounding on him with punches, the fans were fucking loving it. They were loving it. He'd snapped. He'd had enough. Fuck. Then the ref cops a sick pump kick. Suck shit. I love ref bumps. Double down. Now we know something's going to happen. And of course, here comes the Usos with the double super kick. Then they hit the 1D. You knew Owens and Zayn surely were going to make the run in. Of course they did. Here's another piece of drama which turned it into pandemonium. They make the run in. They clear the ring of the Usos. They hit a stunner on Reigns. Then the haluva kick. Crowd thought it was it there. But I knew it was going to be a kick out. There's no way he's winning the world title because of Sami Zayn's finisher. But other fans might not think of that because they're caught up in the moment in the arena. So very near fall there. Crowd going nuts. Pandemonium, as I just said. There was still the factor of the Paul Heyman factor. You know, we thought the Sikoa situation was sorted out with the referee. We thought that Zayn and Owens had sorted out the Usos situation, but Paul Heyman still remained. And of course, that's when he gets up on the ring apron during the 3 crossroads that Cody is going to hit to finally finish this off once and for all. We know that he would have won the fucking match if he was able to hit that 3rd one. But it was just at the right time. Here comes Sikoa in the hoodie. Cody's picked up Reigns for that 3rd one. He's tired. He's hit the turnbuckle. Sikoa with that Samoan spike right into the throat. There's the moment right there. And I'm like, holy shit. And then Reigns hits that spear. 1, 2, 3. I remember I gasped. I actually went,
I was like, what the? Yeah,
no way. They went with the fucking heel going over. Oh, everyone's going to be so mad, bro. So mad they're going to be insane, lad.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me drink those smart tears.
I love it too, man. I love it too. I've seen some comments online and it just makes me laugh, man. Like, because then they're like, oh, well, who's going to take the, like, they don't even think that there could be a chapter 2 to this story. People are saying, how are they going to keep this going until SummerSlam? Like, why does it have to go to SummerSlam?
Yeah, there are other places championships can change hands. Like, we don't live in the 80s anymore.
And someone was like, but I only want to see Reigns lose the belt at WrestleMania. Why? Well, you want to wait another year? No.
If he loses it at Mania, it's a fucking blemish. If he loses it at a different pay-per-view, then it's not as great for the person winning it, but it's less of an impact for Roman Reigns losing it. So, you know, it's all a matter of perspective. Go fuck yourself. I like it.
It doesn't have to always be at WrestleMania. And it's nice for once that they didn't do what was expected. You know, we always go on about foregone conclusions on this show.
Like, how angry were people for years from like 2015 through 2019? Or through 2018, I'm sorry, for those 3 years, every single week and month, knowing that it was leading towards Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, or Roman Reigns and Triple H, and Roman Reigns was always getting set up to win, and everyone knew the whole time that he was going to win.
The Roman Empire begins again.
And then the big event would come and he would win just like everyone expected, and everyone would be pissed off just like they said they would be, but they kept coming back and watching. So now they go and do the opposite of that, and people are pissed off.
Yeah. And I
Like,
saw someone say it was
you're
a
not
swerve for
supposed to.
swerve's sake. A
No, it
swerve for
wasn't.
swerve. It's
No, it
fuck off,
wasn't.
mate.
You're
Fuck
not
off.
okay. You're not supposed to always fucking be happy when at
Exactly.
the outcome of a story. I remember I watched an episode of Buffy, one of the earlier episodes in the season, and I thought they killed Angel off. And I swear to
Oh,
God, man, I was nearly ready to quit that show right then and there, but I kept on watching, and eventually it turned out Angel wasn't dead, and so the show continues being watched by me just barely. But the point is, sometimes bad things happen within fictional shows to fictional characters that you enjoy, and you're supposed to empathize with it and be like, oh shit, I'm pissed off. I got to see what happens next time. You don't like it because you thought this was going to be your big moment so you could gush on social media about it and fucking say that you predicted it and shit. Get fucked. No one cares. No one cares that you predicted it back when he was in AEW or whatever you were hoping you were going to be able to post. No one cares.
Yeah.
That you don't like.
It's just they don't understand there's another chapter coming of the story, and people just can't handle it. Just seems like wrestling fans are so conditioned to just getting what they want.
The other thing as well, man, like they want Cody, they like, give it to him. I want it, me. If it's not going to be Cody, I want it to be Sami Zayn. And if it's not going to be Sami Zayn or Cody, I want it to be Kevin Owens. And if it's not going to be either of them, I want it to be Jey Uso. I want to just give it to him, get it off Roman, give it to somebody else. So then when Cody gets it, or then when Sami eventually gets the title and then they win it and lose it, and now maybe they win it again in the future or whatever, then what? Then you're waiting for the next new big thing. It's everyone wants to see him get this big title reign so that they can splooge over it. Then next month they'll be going, oh, why the fuck isn't there any interesting shit going on in the title division? Like, you want to know why the Attitude Era was such a success? Even though there was largely the same 5 or 6 guys contesting for the championship all the time, it's because if Rock and Triple H are contesting for the WWF title over here, well, we know that Mick Foley and Stone Cold and The Undertaker are also interested in becoming WWF champion, especially, and because the championship obviously represents the pinnacle of the company, but they are not going to be competing for the championship every time. Foley may get diverted by something the McMahons are doing over here. He's got to come around this way to get back to the title picture. Stone Cold's got to come this way because he's been diverted from somewhere else. He's got to try and converge in the title match on the title scene his own way. And the same goes for The Undertaker and Kane and Kurt Angle and everyone else surrounding whoever the champion and their challenger is. And they were able to use that same cast of characters for several years, and it never got boring because people were still over and excited to see what would happen, whether or not their favorite was the champion or whether or not they thought that they were going to get their moment. It's okay to be disappointed that Cody didn't win, but to act like it's some kind of misstep on the WWE's part, it's not. It's the bad guy winning outcome out of 2 possible outcomes. There's only really 2 possible outcomes.
I agree. Couldn't agree more, bro. Couldn't agree more. And because if Reigns lost, then okay, then what? Do we do a rematch with Cody and Reigns again?
What does Roman do as well?
Then does Roman lose twice to him? No, I'm not keen on that. Not yet. Not straight up.
And once Roman loses the belt, this is the other thing people haven't thought about as well. Just because you've got somebody that's gotten hot in Cody Rhodes, and you've got other people like Zayn, Owens, Lashley, McIntyre, Lesnar, they've actually got pretty good depth in their roster now if you really think about it. But they still don't have anyone that's going to currently replace Roman Reigns as the face of the brand. Whether it's kayfabe or whether it's real life, once Roman Reigns loses that championship, in kayfabe, what does he have left to prove even if he loses the belt? He can say in kayfabe, well, I've still got my millions of dollars. I'm going on holiday for a while because I'm so rich, famous, and powerful that I can afford to do that for a while. And when I come back, that championship will still be waiting there for me. He can do that the character Roman Reigns can do that, and the person Joe Anoa'i is also now in the position to do that. So people need to think about, where's the company actually going to go once Roman loses the title? Beyond, oh, let's have a celebration on SmackDown and Raw the following week.
Yeah. And, you know, Roman Reigns will, once he loses it, he will win the belt again. Like, there will be another title reign. So get ready, everyone, because, you know, when you have someone who is box office like that, who has the aura of him, there will be a time where he does win it several more times.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
Or if not win, at the very least, he's going to be in more of these main events. Okay?
Yep.
Anyone thinking that that's finished, it's not. It's not.
Anyway, I think we've proven our point here, bro.
Yeah, we have.
Well, there we go. There we have it. Our WrestleMania 39 Night 2 review here. Juicy Boy, your rating out of 10.
I'm giving this an 8.5. I gave last night a 9. I thought that this night 2 was excellent as well, but because of the Shane McMahon injury and you know, the just a couple of other nitpicky things, I can't give it a 9 in all good conscience, because a 9 is, you know, like really rare territory. So 8.5. Thought it was a great show. Really satisfied and happy with this year's WrestleMania. And like, people are entitled to their opinion, but I don't really understand why people would be too upset, no matter which type of product you prefer. There was something for everyone on this show.
Yeah, good call, bro. I actually decided to give this an 8 out of 10. So it's the same as you. I gave night 1 at 8.5, so just a hair down from 8.5 for an 8 for me. No other real reason other than I just thought night 1 just edged it a little bit more. So thank you very much for taking part in this review. Here with me tonight, Juicy Boy.
You are very welcome, and we hope all of you enjoyed our coverage here of WrestleMania Night 2 as part of our ongoing, as of yet, extensive WrestleMania weekend coverage right here on the WZWA Network. I've been Juicy Boy, alongside my partner in crime, Karlifornia, and we will see you down the road.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.